Bro Break family, how's every single one of you? Welcome to the best show in pro wrestling, the original Bro Break, and we're going to be talking about NXT UK and also merging it also with what's happened on NXT 2.0, just because a lot of matches were set up for what is going to be Worlds Collide. So we're really excited about this, and it's a little tedious just to talk about a show that we know already what's happening, but at least we want to see how the matches ended, what the semifinals how ended and everything, and because we're going to have a final for next week for the NXT UK Championship. We know who won it already, but at least we wanted to know how he won it.
These final 2 weeks, I mean, not even 2 weeks, I would say this, we've known that this show is, it's been pre-taped and they spoiled it. It's been coming to an end. We've known for a couple weeks now. So these last few episodes and the next, what do we have? 1 or 2 more episodes? Probably one more.
I think it's one
more episode.
This probably will be the last one.
And then, when we see Tyler Bate versus Trent Seven for the title next week, that'll probably be the last episode. And they've all been bittersweet, but because it's coming to an end. But it's one of those things where it's coming to an end. But one thing we're going to talk about in a little bit, NXT Europe, that we've talked about before in the previous review of NXT UK. Go check it out. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already. But we gave our thoughts there. And it's pretty much just going to be the same thing. They just got to rebrand, figure stuff out. Triple H, he's kind of steering the ship, but I'm sure there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that they need to get straightened out before they can move forward with a lot of the, the extra stuff besides the Raw and the SmackDown and, the regular NXT.
Exactly. So Daniel, let's go, to go absolutely with everything. So family, one more time, thank you very much. Don't forget we have AEW Dynamite this week because All Out is going to be in next week, and still the main event completely bad. The match with CM Punk and Jon Moxley. Don't forget to check that out. But let's focus right now on what it was this show. And the first match of the semifinals was Trent Seven against Oliver Carter. And pretty much what Trent Seven did is hey, focus on that injured leg. And that was the main story right there. Oliver Carter tried to come back, tried to get some momentum every time, but he punished that leg so much that at some point he kind of tried to get running and he'll fall down. And then he applies a really good, powerful figure four, more leverage, and Oliver Carter ends up tapping out, and Trent Seven is the one that advances to the final. So Paul, the good story, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good match, and they really sell Oliver Carter. He kicked out of the Emerald Frozen. That was a big finish for Trent Seven that he, put some guys away with in the past. They really sell him. And like you said, he had the figure four in, and he really was pounded on it also with his fist on that injured knee. So, there was no choice for him to tap. But again, he really hung in this match. But obviously the story, we know what it was. And it's like Sting and Ric Flair wrestling in the last match of Dynamite. This is like Trent Seven and Tyler Bate wrestling the last match of NXT UK. You needed it. They're the two starting guys, and they're the two guys who are going to end it. So, obviously, it wasn't going to be Oliver Carter or nobody. No offense to him. He's great talent, but no, Trent Seven is going to win this thing. But good opening match, though.
Exactly. So, no, this is all the bracket for what it was going to be the first semi-final. I like it. Like you said, it's just a little sad, because it's that it was going to end, and it's bittersweet because they could have done so much with this feud, so many matches. You could prolong it for so long, but took so long. It's they were redundant, but they took so much stuff that they had to just do this, and they didn't know what was going to happen. That's what they did. So let's move on. This show was actually really packed. If you think about it, both semifinals. Oh yeah, back to back.
The only reason, and the crowd. The crowd was into it this whole show.
Yes,
that's the one thing.
They were really,
because the crowd didn't know.
We're going to talk about the granny poll. I don't know if you saw that in the Trent Seven.
Yeah. Oh my God, the granny yelling, "Tyler's gonna kill you" later on. The granny pop. I don't know if you have a picture of her. If not, folks, go back and watch it. You'll see the granny. I mean, legit. But
it was legit.
I mean, the one thing though. Because the commentary, I'm pretty sure they do later on. They go back and they voice over the commentary, because I don't see a booth there. Unless they are there, I don't know.
They're probably in the back,
But the one thing when they talked about NXT Europe, I don't know if the crowd heard that and if they saw that promo.
Oh, maybe no, probably not. No.
Probably, like I said, I don't think they saw that because I feel like our excitement at home wasn't that legit because we're like, well, what the hell? We have one more weekend and the show's over.
Yes, exactly.
Why
No,
get
because
excited?
remember,
But the
this was
crowd
like
there,
taped 2-3 months
they don't
before.
know.
Yes.
The people in the audience think I'm seeing all these legit fucking matches. This is awesome, and they're going
Yes.
crazy, and they were, and the crowd was good for
And
this
you know,
show.
WWE might plug in a little bit of like excitement, like noises and stuff like that. Even some
Maybe,
transition stuff.
but this didn't sound like generic. They were chanting stuff like
It was.
chanting
was.
for
So,
Oliver
like,
Carter, chanting. It wasn't just generic like yay and boo.
No, it was actually real, and I liked it. So, and also remember,
Yeah.
I even forgot that this match was going to take place. That's how bad because of the news.
Yeah, for the main event too.
It was going to be the main event, so this is great. This was cool, and I just showed you this because about hug from both brothers. They were going to having
They
very
each had a
important
match.
matches. So that's why it was cool to see Joe Coffey and Mark Coffey just hugging each other. But let's go to the match. Pretty good. And see, Joe Coffey doesn't even look bad because in the way that he lost, it was just, it happens. But I love the double clotheslines going at each other. Tyler Bate, of course, doing his stick and everything. And in the end, you see this fall. Really good. Tyler Bate advances to the final. I mean, a little bad for Joe Coffey, but he didn't look bad. It was just a whole, it was just the backslide. So
this match was another fantastic one. I mean, this whole show, go back and watch it. Like you said, he goes for the airplane spin, big suplexes, all this stuff. Like you said, nobody can hit their big move, and it's just a wrestling hold. And you knew that's what it was going to come down to. At least I did. I didn't think he was going to hit the Tyler driver, pin him. Like you said, Joe Coffey just came back. You're not just going to pin this guy flat, and then everybody whatever. But no, he gets the backslide. 1, 2, 3. Joe Coffey, better luck next time. Whether it's NXT 2.0, NXT Europe, whatever. But, then we see the stare down. Trent Seven's on the stage. Tyler Bates there.
There's the granny
Tyler's
right
gonna kill. Yeah, you see her right there in the bottom right corner in the blue.
the white, right next to the title.
Yep. So, I mean, it was great. And like we said, this is the match we wanted to see. But this was a feud that, man, this should have been something great. And it should have led on to something legit. But instead, this is going to be the last thing we see. So.
It is true. It is true, unfortunately. And for the ones, Joe Coffey also came back with Gallus to NXT 2.0. They had their first match going against for the NXT UK Championships with Jex and Branson, where they had the match, but it was on DQ. And that would have been a DQ on this show in this week, NXT 2.0. So at least he's up to something. So maybe at some point, Joe Coffey might be North American champion. Try for the NXT Championship, depending after what happens on the unification match. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But like you said, Paul, I mean, we're going to see this is going to be the last match we'll see in NXT UK as a brand for what it is. So this is cool. And now we were asking, remember, what's going to happen with the Women's Championship? And this match particularly is going to influence what happens, in NXT 2.0. And you're going to see the correlation right there. You're going to see the link between the two because we're going to see next week the Fatal 4-Way Elimination #1 Contenders match. We're going to see all these girls that were involved. Remember when we still didn't have an explanation of Meiko Satomura versus Shirai?
Yeah, well, actually we did. And, I was going to ask you if you heard that. It was a quick throwaway line. Blair said, I already took care of Meiko and Sarai. Now I got to take care of these women. So that was, and boom, it was a quick, if you weren't paying attention for a second and a half, you missed it. And it's like,
so that means that she injured them prior to the match.
Yeah, like she took them out, like she jumped them backstage. But really, what did you jump them with? A gun? Did you shoot them dead somewhere? Because we haven't seen them in how many weeks?
Yes.
It's different when you jump somebody. I mean, usually, okay, here comes security, here comes the ref or somebody, and then you see them later on in the show, or you at least see them being taken to the hospital or something if they're beat up that bad. Not like, Where did she throw them, in a fucking ditch? So I mean, it was it was an explanation. They at least gave one, but it wasn't a good one. It was really, or it doesn't. At least it doesn't make Meiko and them look credible. And the one thing, like you said, with this is once we talk about later on the matches for Worlds Collide, you're pretty much going to see who wins this match.
Yes, exactly. And the correlation, because again, that's why she actually gets that match at the Worlds Collide. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Like you said, they had a big promo of NXT Europe in 2023, and something that you said last show, it was just about, hey, these guys are being released right now, but that doesn't mean that later on they're going to be, hey, come back, do your thing. We can pay you right now. Maybe we're just saving money for what is to come. Hey, do your thing. And one of them, like you said, Elias Alexander, is going to be fighting in GCW against Alicat. So, like, you see that, like, right now, maybe at some point, right now, it's like not good, but like in a year from now, hey, we're going to get all of them back. Because we saw promos from like Ilya Dragunov, we saw Isla Dawn, Gradwell, Theo Man, I think a lot of people there in that promo.
Yeah, well, Dragunov didn't get released, did he?
No, Dragunov didn't get.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, he didn't get released. I didn't think, but yeah, I mean, yeah, Sam Gradwell, Elias Alexander was in there too. I believe Trent Seven. You saw them. These people in this promo, and it's like, now WWE owns the footage, so they can use it if they want. But why would they?
Yes.
If they release these people and you're not gonna see them on this brand, why show them?
Yes.
So that's one of the things. Like, but they said, like we said, it probably wasn't even a thing where WWE they probably released them because the talent said, no, that's all right. We don't want to move to America. We'll fly to America to work shows and do this and that, but we don't want to move to America to, do NXT every week.
Exactly. So like they probably didn't have a permanent thing, but like you said, maybe a few days every now and then, so like for a show, and then I come back to Europe, I come back to my house. So that's what's going to happen. So that is really going to be interesting to see how many guys are able to return, because we already know them. But like there's a lot of expectations. So let's go right now quick with like the Heritage Cup match. This was like the cherry on top for me, because I was not hoping that Mark Coffey will lose the title that quick. But it was great to see Noam Dar, closing the show like that. Good match. As you guys can see, the first fall actually was this one. Mark Coffey gets that elbow to the face.
Yeah, and essentially, like the first two matches were your favorite. The feeling out process, the back and forth, this and that. And it was essentially telling the story that no matter how quick and how good a wrestler and everything Noam Dar was, Mark Coffey always somehow found a way to get the upper hand. And it was pissing him off. And at the end of the second round, Mark Coffey really had the upper hand, and he was kind of getting it in there. And it was, the tempers were flaring, and like you said, he hits that big clothesline, and Noam Dar actually hit that finisher on Mark Coffey before that, kind of almost like, I'm going to embarrass you, I'm going to try to pin you with your finisher. But no, Mark Coffey gets him, and then he gets the Supernova knee bar, and the last
we'll tie the thing,
to tie it, and then right as it goes, in the fifth fall, Mark Coffey's on top of him. He's about to be pummeling him, and the time goes out. And you think, okay, now we go to the last round. They're going on the outside. Boom, boom, boom. The action's hot. He hits the big clothesline, but Noam Dar rolls to the outside, and it's he hit his finisher, but he rolled to the outside. He goes to get him, but then who jumps? Shaw Samuels. Boom, pushes him into the ring post. He throws him back in. The people are yelling at him. He's like, I think he said, "Shut up, Mark," or "Shut up something." It looked like he said Mark. I couldn't read his lips right, but it was funny regardless. He's yelling to the crowd. Noam Dar, hits a big Nova roller. 1, 2, 3, gets the pin. I mean, it was a great match. It was one of the things where Mark Coffey had the title reign. His name's in there. And this means nothing. You know what I mean? It means nothing as in because, like, it's not like his title reign's cut short because this show's going to continue on forever. No, this is like, hey, Noam Dar, man, you're badass. What did they say? Nigel even said his Heritage Cup record is 10-3. So this is his 14th Heritage Cup match. The dude is the Heritage Cup king. He probably wrestled more matches than anyone else. Let him close the show, end this brand with Noam Dar as your champion. That's fine. And he cheated to win, so they end his career here at NXT UK in this brand, with some good heel heat.
Absolutely. And you know what we want to see is like Noam Dar showing up next week on NXT 2.0 and challenge Carmelo Hayes, because that's pretty much the trend. Why? Now let's focus on NXT 2.0, because Blair Davenport, like you said, she's the winner. She wins. Unfortunately, we got to spoil it because there's no other way to explain this next segment. Is she wins the Fatal 4-Way, and then she beat in a really quick match. She beat Indy Hartwell Also, like, she has that storyline because Dexter Lumis and everything, he was in NXT 2.0. There, he was taken out by security, and he said, "Oh, I will love you forever," like to Indy. They have the match. Blair wins, and she's like, "Well, I won my match. I'm the number one contender for the NXT Championship, so I won Mandy Rose or Meiko Satomura." Both of them come out. Meiko, I mean, for the only thing is like the English is not that great, but I'm not gonna criticize on that. But like she just goes to Mandy, well, we have the match, and then Blair Davenport goes like, whoa, hold on a second, He's like, what about me? I'm the number one contender. So there you go. That's spoiling the whole thing. She won and all of that. So Meiko just says, you know what? That's fine. Let's do triple threat. He's like, I'm the number one contender. So let's do triple threat match. That's where we're gonna see Worlds Collide, unification match for these two belts, and Blair Davenport just gets added to it. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins it, actually. That would be really cool. Because why would you add somebody that is not even, or takes the pin?
Yeah, that's the one thing. And I mean, with Triple H booking this right now, I'm going to say Mandy Rose takes the pin. The only way I could see it going otherwise is if Meiko's done. Like Meiko's let's say her contract maybe expired a month ago or whatever, and they said, "Hey, can you do it? Wait to this show, whatever."
This match,
or maybe it's going to expire in 2 days from now. Who knows? But maybe it's over soon. She's going to do this. This is the last hurrah. But if you're going to use her on this brand and try to revitalize, women like her and Asuka and Saray and Io and make them legit, then. I say Mandy Rose got to take the pin because she's clearly the weakest in this match. If you know the three competitors.
If you go talent wise.
Yeah.
If you go talent wise, yes, absolutely. But I mean, that's what's going to happen. We're going to have
But regardless, I do think, for triple threats, I mean, Meiko, like I said, Meiko would have a good match with a mop. She's legit. And, I want to see her and Blair again. And Mandy Rose, I'll never get upset looking at her, so...
It's always like you used to say, Paul, remember, easy in the eye. So that's cool. And also, like, now moving on along with what's going to happen with Tyler Bate, he finally gave us a reason why. He goes, I'm the last NXT UK champion. And I didn't come here to just say you're cool and everything. You beat JD McDonough, all of that. It was a good match, all of that. But it's like, how about NXT Europe is going to start? How about we start with the right foot? How about we have a match together and we unify both titles and we make this the NXT champion? So Braun Breaker just says, okay, I know who you are. I've seen you before. I know that NXT UK means Tyler Bate. So you know what? You're coming for this title. Let's do it. Let's have that match. So in 2 weeks' time, we're going to see this for the NXT unifying these titles. I hope Tyler Bate will get the upset, but I know Braun Breaker is going to get the win. So it's going to hurt me a little bit because I don't want to see the NXT UK Championship on Braun Breaker just because it's too different for me styles and it doesn't add up in my own view.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to unify the belts, so it's probably just going to be called the NXT Championship, just like I'm sure the women's and the tag team, and if they unify all of them, whatever, it's just going to be the NXT because they're obviously going to have new belts and everything for NXT Europe, I would assume. But
this was a cool picture, Paul. See, at the end of NXT 2.0, see everybody signing the contracts, all the belts, really cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a legit picture. I like that too. But
they make them, see, they add seriousness to it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can tell Triple H and them, okay, they're trying to, they're not doing a culture change completely, but a little by little, they're making the show more serious.
Exactly.
But, I like this. And one thing that I'm not saying this will happen. This is, there's probably a better chance of me winning the lottery than this happening. But a way out of this match, a good storyline, because everybody saw the list of people who got fired or released or whatever. The biggest name, oh my God, Trent Seven. During this match, do something, ref bump, whatever. Trent Seven jumps the crowd. He fucking hits Tyler Bate. But Braun Breaker don't see it because Braun Breaker's a babyface. He wouldn't take advantage if he didn't see it. He would chase off Trent Seven, get out of here. I want to win this match legit because I'm a babyface. So he obviously, maybe Braun Breaker don't see it either, whatever. He somehow, does something, gets the pin. But, nobody would see that coming because he's, got released. Nobody's going to think Trent Seven comes. That would be legit. Then the feud continues because what did we just say 5 minutes ago? We wanted to really see that feud really continue, and it feels like, boom, here it is, and it's unfortunately over. So,
exactly.
I mean, but either way, I think Braun Breaker, I think, is going to win.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Braun Breaker is gonna win. We're gonna close up with like this picture because in 2 weeks time we're gonna see, this. Actually, 1 week time we're gonna see this. It's gonna be a good pay-per-view. We just want a few more matches at it. So we're thinking.
And what do you? I was gonna say, what do you think? Do you think they're gonna do the tag team? Do you think they're gonna do all?
I'm thinking all the time.
Unify them all.
I'm thinking hopefully because it's worlds collide. So and you need more matches. So you only have 2 that are already like confirmed. So you need more matches. So probably the Heritage Cup, right? Like the tag team championships, and then maybe one maybe feud like or one guy from like NXT UK, one going against one of like the guys from NXT 2.0, something like that. And we'll see what happens. So we have a lot of hopes on that pay-per-view. It's the second edition of it. The first one was really good. So we're going to be covering all of that. Family, yes. Thank you so very much for being with us. We appreciate you. We love you. Next week it's going to have a lot of content with the Clash at the Castle. That's going to be great. All Out, Worlds Collide. So a lot of cool things happening in the world of professional wrestling. The only request I have for all of you, be with us. Comment, let us know what you guys feel about all of this. Paul, where they can find us.
And then make sure you follow us on all of our social media. Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok. And of course, right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...
the